I'm so far leaning towards underrated attractions.
Yeah, I'm still with that.
Loops, pools.
I'm good with underrated.
Underrated looks like it's the winner. Underappreciated rides.
Well, it's attractions, right?
Attractions,
So,
whatever. Yeah, attractions. Okay, do you want to pull up? You want to bring a chair? Are you? You're not in camera though.
I don't know.
We could get you in camera.
I'm just like your logo in the background.
Perfect. No, stay just like that. Just be the logo. Okay. Do we want to kick it off with your number 5? Show me. So wait. Just show me just the one. I don't want to do your other.
Oh. I can't remember the name of it.
I can't read that.
Because your pen sucks.
I think. Hold on.
It's an Epcot. It's an Epcot. What's the name of it? Why can't I think of the name of it?
Really?
Yeah, that's why I wrote it that way, because at the top of my head I'm blanking on what the name of it is.
Christine's number 5 underrated ride is the Maelstrom.
Thank you! Guys, I was just...
It's the Maelstrom. We're at the Maelstrom here. I'll let you talk about why you think it's underrated.
So, I mean, there's very few rides or anything really in the pavilions, except for a lot of those, I don't know, little movie things in like China and whatever, Canada. So it's nice that there's an actual ride to go on. I mean, it's nothing super spectacular in terms of design or anything. It's not like Pirates where like you've got a lot of cool animatronics. But I don't know, there's something about it, I guess it's kind of nostalgic for me. I kind of like the whole troll thing. I like that part where you kind of go backwards towards the waterfall. And I think when I was like really little, that kind of freaked me out because, you know, I was very easily scared by things like that. I almost feel like it was a prelude to Everest and how that goes backwards. I don't know, I just really like it, and I feel like it's underrated. Yeah, I don't know. I think
Maelstrom was boring. I'm so glad they're getting rid of it.
Whoa.
I'm kidding. I'm not glad they're getting rid of it. It was old. It needed to go. It was about time. It was well beyond its lifetime. It was good because it was cheesy.
Yeah, and the part when you went
cheesy.
Backwards and the thing, and
Sure,
it makes me feel like that's what they did with Everest.
Should move this around.
There's trolls.
Yeah, it was a remnant of like an old Epcot era, and it was time for it to go. I don't know if a Frozen ride
I haven't watched Frozen, and I think a lot of it is that people told me the story wasn't as good as it could have been. But anyway.
I think it was a great movie.
Do you?
I think it deserves a ride. I don't know if it deserves a ride in Norway, but
yeah, like I don't know.
I'm okay with it. All right, so yeah, I wanted to put that on my list just because I enjoyed it, but I think it was rated exactly where it needed to be rated, which was it's this niche little
but we're not talking
ride
about
that you ride for irony.
Whatever.
Like
now, but see, this is gonna be really like subjective about what's considered underrated.
Yeah, I guess so. Okay, mine's at Epcot as well. It's Warp. That Warp the land, and so clearly it's not Soarin'. If we're talking about underrated rides.
Yeah.
My number 5 underrated ride is Living with the Land. Cause I don't know. I think it's a great one. I mean, we know what my stance is on settings that are indoors that look like outdoors.
You don't need to go there now.
And there are multiple scenes of that in this ride, for one. I think it's one of those rides that totally sums up what Epcot's supposed to be, which is like entertaining through education. By showing all of this crazy, it's all about horticulture, right? And farming and living off of the land, and I think it's cool because it's an attraction. How many attractions actually provide food for restaurants right above the attraction?
No, I agree. I actually thought about putting this on my list and I didn't because I guess we put it together so quickly.
It was, I don't know, I enjoy it. I also like it because there's never a line. You get to just hop in this little boat.
I don't think Rob ever said he hated Maelstrom.
I don't hate the Maelstrom. It was a time for the Maelstrom to go. That's all I meant. I can't. I don't have anything to go on at length about this. I think it's really enjoyable. I try to get on it whenever I'm there. I don't like that they switched from like live tour guides to voiceover.
I haven't gone in such a long time that I don't even think I've heard of voiceover. I think the last time I went was the live guide. So
I don't know. I like it. I like the message. I hate nature, but I like the message. And I don't know, I think it's a nice, enjoyable ride. I mean, I think you went on further about Maelstrom than I did about this one. That's why it's my number 5.
I didn't
it's not
actually
the one
go
I
that
keep
far about Maelstrom. I just think people entertained by your entertainment. Okay, are we moving on?
Yes, we can move on to your number 4. Okay, so we're Christine's number 4, my number 2, Carousel Progress. Walt Disney's Carousel Progress. It gets... Sure. It's super... Oh, what, are you looking for your phone?
Yeah, I can't find it.
So you talk about Carousel Progress while I text it.
Okay, so, Carousel Progress.
Too slow. Alright. It gets such a bad rap because it's slow and because it's not very, like, I don't know, it's funny if you grew up with it, but I think if you just had you were on the Carousel Progress for the first time, right?
Yeah.
Was it...
What were your thoughts?
What's your thoughts?
Well, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird old. It's weird old.
It's old.
Yeah, it's weird
It's
old
weird
future.
old
I mean, it was cool. It was cool to be like, oh, this thing's been here.
Since,
This thing itself.
no joke, the 60s.
Yeah, this thing talking about the future is a historical artifact
Right.
itself.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is kind of interesting. It's cool to be able to go see that.
Yeah.
Um,
But it wasn't... It's not... It doesn't... There shouldn't be long lines for it the way it is now. I'm all about refurbishing it. And I came up with a really, not to toot my own horn, amazing plan on how we can replace Carousel Progress
pneumatic tubes.
while sticking to the core of it.
Uh-huh.
Disney should hire me, and I will give them all of these ideas and more for free. Well, not for free.
Oh wait, you're
for
not going to tell
salary.
us what the idea is.
Oh, well, you can watch the video for the idea.
I think because you and I think Rob and I tend to be one of those people who's just really appreciative of, that's mine. We tend to be really appreciative even of the
You put it in the
decades
kitchen.
and
Alright.
the technology that came before us. So we kind of do appreciate those scenes.
And the fact
despite-
that it was such it was, I mean, they named it Walt Disney's because he was super involved.
Yeah,
like,
that too.
There's
yeah.
stories about how when he was designing these scenes, he would go as far as to like get into the tub where like the animatronic would be, so he could show them like this is how he should look and this is how he should act. Or, you know, this is how's it gonna look with somebody in there. Like he was super involved into it. So it feels like, I don't know, it's got more of
It's one of
Disney
those
history
things he
to it.
touches,
Yeah.
I still think it's great, and like somebody put in the chat, the song is so good. It's so iconic. Like I know people who like haven't even really fully rode the ride, but like they know the song kind of.
What do
They
they
might not
know?
know all the words, but
Halfway through, they pulled the emergency brake, and they got out.
shut up.
I'm sorry.
But yeah, the song is so good, and I love singing it every single time. I'm one of those people, like, you know how every time you ride the ride, there's like that group of people who are just singing it real loud
Yeah.
between that's me. Every time. So
And then some people are Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow fans, others are Now Is the Time fans. Even though Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow was the original song.
Mhm.
But that's one of those, I love that fact because you know why they changed it.
vacuum or change.
Why they changed it first and then back. So they changed it, so it was sponsored by GE, and so all the appliances throughout all the scenes were General Electric's appliances. And the theme song was There's a Great Big Beautiful Tomorrow. But the executives at GE were afraid that the song would trick people or convince people to waiting for the quote-unquote tomorrow to buy these new products.
Oh my God.
So they rewrote the song to Now Is the Time, Now Is the Best Time, because they wanted you to feel like I should get all of this stuff now,
Wow.
because now is the best
I
time.
did not
So they
know
put Now Is the Best Time,
That's
and
crazy.
then once GE stopped sponsoring it, they went back to the original and they like took the GE logo
Yeah,
off
well,
of
that
all of
just
the
makes
appliances.
so much more sense.
Yeah. So my number 4, her number 1 is the Great Movie Ride in
Can't see
Hollywood
myself
Studios.
because you're blocking everything.
Why is it closed?
Just closed in here. I think they're working on the Redstone
Yeah, it's a video game. That's what I'm asking.
because they're
Oh, because
fixing
when
it.
they fix things,
They closed it.
It's weird.
just like they
It
do
should
at
always
Disney
be
World.
open. It should always be.
Yeah, no, they're working on it. I feel like then you should talk about it since you chose
Okay.
number 1.
I mean, this is my number 1 really thinking of underrated rides, okay? So obviously it's not, you know, you guys have heard our top 5 rides, so that was a different kind of list, but I think it's really underrated. I think there's certain people who love it. Like, I have friends who are you know, as into Disney as I am, I have friends who are cast members in Disney World, and they all seem to love the Great Movie Ride. But I feel like people who only been a couple times, don't really like follow theme park stuff, maybe like whatever, they don't know what it is, they don't really care, you know, whatever. I think it's awesome. I mean, sure, the animatronics are outdated and all of that, you know, so it's not really about that. It's just, there's something about being able to go through the actual scenes of the movie. I love the alien part. That is my favorite part of the entire ride.
I think this ride is great as well. I think it's one of those rides that okay, so for one, I mean, if you look at the history of the ride, this was going to be in Epcot originally. This was going to be one of the pavilions, I think, where Imagination was.
Yes, I do remember that, yes.
And they decided there's so much here that we can make a whole park out of it. Mm-hmm. So it makes sense that this ride sort of perfectly sums up the whole park, or at least what the park used to be. So I like it for that. I love the scenes. I feel like it is another ride that is underappreciated because it is old and it could use an update. I think some of the older movies could be swapped out.
Absolutely. I think they could update that end video that you see with the collage, which
is amazing.
It still gets
such
me
a good
emotional
montage.
almost every time because there's just, it doesn't matter who you are, how old you are, there's something in there that's like resonates with you. Star Wars, I mean, what else they have? Like so many things. Good Morning Vietnam. I mean, there's just like so many movies.
But then the problem is when Eisner, since he was in charge and he was all about the you know, cross promotion.
Messed up.
Yeah, I know. It's better that we get your head in the shot than. There's like 3 men and a baby in the montage, and it's like, all right, this doesn't belong in a montage of great moments of cinema. It's because the movie was coming out and you needed to promote it. So like, you could cut out some of that stuff.
They could definitely update it. But I think it's a lot of fun, and
they should also get better props in the queue.
They change it all the time, though.
Yeah, do they really?
Yeah, no, they really. Every time
from
that
Mary
one
Poppins
stays. That one stays.
Time.
But they've changed up. There was Game of Thrones or something the last time I was there.
Really?
Yeah.
I've only ever seen like
they change stuff all the time.
A thing from Narnia or
I will
else.
say, from a background standpoint of like knowing people who work at the parks, people love working Great Movie Ride. I can tell you that. It's apparently a lot of work to memorize the whole script, but they just love being involved in that whole thing with either the gangster or the cowboy, and like apparently if you work in that park, it's either you want to be at Tower of Terror or you want to be Great Movie Ride.
Let's move on to, I guess, your number 3.
Okay, theme park.
What is it? Oh, that's gone too.
I know.
Indiana Jones Stunt Spectacular. This is not on my list.
That's
your
my number 3. I love it.
Do you not love it, Rob?
I thought
you saw
it's okay.
Right?
It's great.
It's great.
I felt like it was appropriately rated. I don't feel like it's underrated.
Okay, wait. No. It's definitely underrated. It's definitely underrated over the years. I feel like it was really cool, obviously, when it first came out. Even for the first so many years.
It was cool when it came out because it was dangerous.
When we went back,
that's true. Yeah.
And I hadn't been there for a lot of years.
Yeah.
I know both of you probably had. I remembered it vaguely from like when I was 8 or something. But then I saw it and I was like, this thing's still amazing. I really love this show.
You know why I really like it? Because it's one of those things where obviously the people involved in it are stunt people.
Yeah.
And so they have to have like this level of talent and professionalism. And even though I always know that the dummy audience guy is going to be in it, I still love it. You know why I love it? Because I love looking at people who had never done it before, who are actually falling for the joke, and they think he's like a real guy who's like getting hurt. I love that. I think it's just great. The music, the music gives me chills every time. But that's just the score itself, you know. It's just done so well. I don't know. I'm always totally entertained by it. It's one of those things that like when I've taken people who haven't been to Disney in years or like maybe ever, I always make sure they go to it, and most people really enjoy it because they don't think that they expect that kind of thing there. I think people have a certain idea of what Disney is when they don't
It does seem like the kind of attraction you'd expect at like a Universal.
Right, but I think it's great, and it's Indy. You can't go wrong with Indy.
It's not a bad attraction whatsoever.
And yes, I know it's closed now, and you know,
The Indiana Jones thing's closed?
Yeah, because they're doing a whole Star Wars land.
So much in that park is closed.
Wait, it's gone forever?
Mhm.
Yeah. They're building all new stuff.
What else do you
There's rumors you're gonna see Star Wars land in that whole. So everything from
Super
the.
don't care. Love Indiana Jones.
Well, they might do Indiana Jones rides.
Okay, that's
Well, that's the thing. I've never been to Disneyland. I know that's really like blasphemous, and everyone
Yeah,
tells
everyone says
me
the Indy
that
ride's
Indy
really
ride
good.
is
There's
awesome.
an Indy ride. Let's move on to, I guess, my number 3. It's the Magic Kingdom.
Oh, you think that's? I don't know if I agree
I
with
think
you.
it's underrated.
Okay, I don't know if I think that it's really that underrated. But again, I think I'm kind of.
I'm
think my
thinking in
view,
terms of the average
yeah,
Disney
I think
person,
I try
not
to
visitor.
too. My view is very skewed because I literally know so many people who were our cast members, and I think that that's my opinion. But
We're in the Magic Kingdom at the Jungle Cruise, and that's my number 3 underrated ride. I think among Disney fans, it's totally rated at where it needs to be, but I think the average park goer skips over it because it's pretty cheesy. It's got animatronic animals. It's not exciting at all.
no,
There's
it's
nothing
about
about
the
it.
script. It's all about the
But
script
that's
and
what
the
it is.
improv.
It's the funniest ride.
Yeah.
You have to have that type of humor. It's like Casey's
That's
style of pun-heavy humor, and it's just non-stop for all like 15 minutes. Just stuff like
and
that.
some improv as well is allowed
Yeah.
within their script, which makes it the reason to keep going on it is because you never know who you're gonna get, and sometimes people are hysterical. I
Yeah.
love it.
I think it's a lot of fun. I think it's cool because it's a great example of Disney sort of like pivoting where all of a sudden the ride is just when the Animal Kingdom opened up, the ride just became totally useless because
Yeah.
the whole idea is Walt wanted real animals, but of course he couldn't do it at the time, so they had animatronics. Now they have a park with real animals. There's no reason to go on it for that. So rather than shutting it down or just trying to let it keep going, they like made it this super funny ride that acknowledges how cheesy it is and made it fun for that.
Yeah.
And it's like I think most people just shoot right past it to get to Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, it's a must for me every time I go.
Yeah, I
think,
enjoy it.
I think the last time I went though it was close to refurb, so that was very exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm with you. I mean, we've already talked before about the queue ride and jokes.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
radio,
The cue's great. The
and-
radio, like I'll listen to that at work
Yeah.
sometimes because it's good music in between, but also funny radio disc jockey. Yeah, so that's my number 3 underrated ride. I think everybody who goes to Disney should ride it once. What's your number 2?
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's not on my list.
Oh, when you were like.
Yeah, I know. I thought about
That's
it, but
what I
that's
thought
not.
about. That's what I thought you were talking about. Whoa.
We're
Okay,
at
guys.
Spaceship Earth at Epcot.
Yeah. I mean, we've kind of covered a lot of this. If you've watched our top 5 rides,
You can talk about it.
we definitely talked a lot about it. I just think it's underrated because one, I've noticed a lot of people I talk to don't even know there's a ride in there. They just call it the big ball,
The
and
ball ball.
they don't know what's in there. And I'm like, guys, there's a whole
There's
ride.
an
and it's
attraction.
awesome. Again, I am just a person who loves learning. I love history. I love looking into the future, what the future could be. I'm just one of those people who just loves the whole timeline of history, and I really like it. But I can see why people don't care or don't want to ride it. It's slow.
Yet, I've heard reports that this is the most popular attraction in the world.
No way.
Yes, because of how many people the Omni-Mover system puts through, and the fact that it's the very first attraction you walk past.
Yes.
It is the most ridden attraction in
Huh,
the world.
I'm gonna
That's what I've
fact check
heard.
this.
I don't know how.
I'm gonna fact check this.
Yeah,
but,
you should look into it.
But I can see how people, you have to be interested in learning these kind of things.
Yeah.
If it's not, I could see little kids fidgeting around and just like not caring. I could just see a lot of people who just want something more exciting, maybe taking it for Soarin' or Mission Space, not really a test track and not doing this, So I think that's why it's a little underrated. It's just, I guess it doesn't really appeal to everybody. But
And I think this is
I
like
love it.
Jungle Cruise, where it's like Disney fans loved it, but I think if you go ask your average person on vacation,
and either they don't know what it is or
they
they're
don't-
just like,
I think it's underrated.
It's like one of those, like, I ride it because I can take a nap on it. I've heard people tell me that. Like,
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's
So
weird.
the reason I think it needs to be improved, aside from the script, which is so dumbed down, it's like for
No, I
babies.
agree. It used to be a lot better.
But like it sounds like it's grinding the metal under the track whenever you're riding. It's like the loudest, most
yeah.
like antiquated ride system. They need to make it quieter, put a better score, get a better script, and then maybe
Oh wait, maybe I like the old
Score's
score.
okay. The old score's great.
Yeah.
You're thinking of the old score.
Because I have the old score.
Yeah, that's
somewhere saved.
fantastic.
That one's really good.
But
Yes.
just a better script. I feel like so spoken down to when I write it now.
Yeah, I can kind of agree. But like I said, it's gone through multiple iterations.
Remember your ABCs?
That was
When you
amazing.
compare it to what Jeremy Irons was,
Can you do
Jeremy Irons was like,
Oh, he was
the
amazing.
Phoenicians crafted a new written language that tied together,
I
and
am
then
sorry.
Judy Jensen is just like, remember learning your ABCs? Thank the Phoenicians. And that's
It's
it.
not her fault though.
It's not her fault. She does a great job of what
Judi
she,
Dench
but what she
is
says
amazing.
is so poorly written.
You know who should be the next voice? Morgan Freeman.
No, it's got to be a
Boom, boom.
British person.
Why?
Because Jeremy Irons is British.
No, Morgan Freeman. Who's with me on this? He's got a great voice.
No, it's
he would
too.
be
He
so.
does Hall of Presidents.
Oh yeah.
They already got him.
All right.
Okay, who would be weird
British
to do?
name.
Here's somebody who would be weird to do, but has to do with communication. Ira Glass.
Okay, well no.
Hey, Disney visitors.
So you know what's really funny? The first thing I thought in terms of British, but has nothing to do with anything, it would be
Stephen
really
Fry.
bad to do. I was thinking Ricky Gervais.
Oh my god.
How weird would that be? A Ricky Gervais.
Oh
picture?
man.
Um.
Gosh.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who's the British voiced person right now. Who's
Michael
like-
Caine.
Oh, I would love
Who's
that.
Michael
It
Caine
would be
to
like
do?
Alfred. Can he talk about, you know,
I can't even
That-
pretend to try and do
I know
it.
neither
I can't
can I.
even do it. I'm not gonna bother.
Mr. Oh my god, only
Oh,
if he
William
does it.
Daniels, yes.
Or only if he does it like he's teaching a class.
Mr.
But-
Matthews, pay attention. The Phoenicians created a written language. Or he alternated each scene. He was Kit, and the other he's Mr. Feeney. My number 2 is Carousel of Progress. So
Right,
we have
and
my
your
number
number
1,
one.
which is
now I kind of wish that was on my list.
so here in Epcot, Ellen's Energy Adventure. I think it's great. I think Seinfeld. What's the deal with all the Phoenicians? Universe of Energy, Ellen's Energy Adventure. I think it was super great in the 90s. It's sort of really fallen off, which is weird because like I feel like Ellen's still relevant.
She's super relevant.
Bill Nye a little less so, but he should be.
Yeah, but you know what? If you like added Neil deGrasse Tyson,
Grass.
boom. Did I
DeGrasse.
say Degrassi?
You said Degrassi
God,
again.
I'm sorry.
That was the cold open of the last.
God, I don't know how to say his name. I'm sorry.
Neil deGrasse
Anyway.
Or somebody suggested the MythBusters, like just like
See,
cool
no,
science-related
I
people.
would want Neil, 100%.
Yeah, he would
You
be
know
good.
why? Because Neil's really big right now. He's really big. Young
Come on.
people like him.
Yeah.
He has a very easy way of explaining things that's as funny as, you know what I mean? He's got, and the thing is, you could probably update it with Ellen. Like,
Yeah, keep
David
Ellen
Allen?
and Bill Nye. Make it the 3 of them. That'd be so
Maybe.
no. Bill
Yeah.
Nye needs to come back, and we need to bring him
yeah, I'm
back.
with that. And then the thing is, so like Neil is like the in-between of the two of them, right? Because like Ellen's funny and Neil's funny, but obviously he also has that, you know, whatever. And then Bill can just be he's not as funny in that, right? That's weird.
But he's the anchor who keeps you like focused on the science part.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Neil is that perfect in between the two of them,
Yeah.
and Ellen's just funny, you know.
I
I'm
love
with
this
you though.
attraction.
It's so fun.
People talk about getting on it to go to sleep for 40 minutes, but I enjoy
I
riding.
mean,
and
it's
watching.
relaxing.
The
It's
scene
nice
with
and
the Big
relaxing.
Bang is so great.
Oh, it is. I love the whole dinosaur thing.
Yeah.
And that to me, when I go through that, I think like, oh, this is definitely where like some of the Imagineers pulled ideas for like dinosaur. You know, there's certain things I can see where it's like they probably did this and we're like, how cool would it be if you could do a whole dinosaur thing? Like you can see where maybe they've gotten
Was that right? That was your number 1. So that was all of them.
That was how long did I think that's this? That's how long did you do?
45 minutes.
That's actually a little less. Sometimes we talk for an hour.
Yeah.
You guys should hear when we actually record these things. There's just a lot of
Yeah.
a lot of insanity at times.
I
I
don't know.
got a gift for me in Chinese food.